I'm here now with Dave Johns, the star of I, Daniel Blake. How are you doing today, Dave?
Very good indeed, yeah. I'm looking forward to the premiere tonight. We started filming I, Daniel Blake this time last year in October for like 9 weeks. We've been all over Europe and America, shown it at film festivals, and tonight feels like we're bringing the film home.
So it's been quite exhilarating, I can imagine.
It's been crazy. I mean, Cannes was amazing. You know, we won the Palme d'Or, which was like when we were filming this in Baker, that was a million miles away. You know, and Cannes is another place altogether. I was in the lift with Woody Allen, and I never said anything to him, which was amazing because I got on the lift and he got in the lift and we both just looked at each other, nodded, and then we went up in the lift and we both just stood there in silence, and I was keep thinking, that's Woody Allen, and I was going, and I'd had a couple of glasses of wine. I thought, just don't say anything, just be cool. And he must have been thinking, I'm sure he knows who I am, and we just went up and then I just nodded as I got out the lift, and then when I got out the lift I started myself laughing because I just thought, I've just gone up in the lift and said nothing to Woody Allen. I'm a big fan of Woody Allen, so it was hilarious. Yeah. So yeah, it was mad, you know. And we went for our premiere, big blacked out limousine cars, motorbike outriders, got to the red carpet, loads of people there. They opened the door and you could see people going, oh, it's just some old baldy bloke. And the day before I'd just seen Juliette Roberts and George Clooney go for their premiere, you know, and people knew who they were. It was like, oh, so some old bloke, but it was amazing, yeah.
Is it something you could get used to? I mean, there's
what people loving us. The thing is, you know what it is. I've often thought back because I've got a lot of famous mates who are comics, you know, because I'm a stand-up comic, and they've all, you know, I started off with people like Bill Bailey, and I gave Ross Noble his first gig at my club, and you know, and I know, you know, and Jack Dee and Joe Brann and Eddie Izzard and Lee Evans, and you know, I know a lot of famous comics, and they all started off with me, and I watched their fame, you know, and the thing, people always go, oh God, I'd love to be famous. I think, you know, it's a byproduct of doing something well. I mean, and because people love this film and people have bought into the film and they see the truth in it, then I guess I've got a bit of fame from that. But it's something that is because people have seen me do some sort of work that they appreciate, and that's the best way of getting fame. You know what I mean? You know, I think. I mean, I don't know what will happen. You know, I mean, my daughter was with me in Locarno Film Festival, and she's 10, and after the film festival, people wanted selfies with us, you know, and she was just standing there, this look on her face, and she goes to me, Dad, is this going to happen in England when the film comes out? And I went, well, I don't know, it might. And she goes, ooh. So, you know, so that's what a 10-year-old thinks of it, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm pleased that the film is getting the recognition it deserves, and hopefully it will change. I mean, even today, I heard Theresa May on the radio go, we're turning away from the thought of people who need welfare or scroungers. And I thought, I wonder where you got that idea from, you know. So hopefully if it changes things, it'll change things, you know, and that's a good thing.
So let's talk about the film. Yeah. You play Daniel Blake. He's the central figure of the film. It's a very important piece of cinema, would you say?
Well, very much so. I mean, Ken Loach has done lots of social realism, and he's always been the voice, him and his writer Paul Lafferty, for a voice for people who don't have a voice, so I think this, just by, you know, it's won 5 awards, it has the audiences are loving it, probably not the right word, they are being moved by it, and they're making them think. And a woman said to me, this film has made me and my husband think where we should put our cross the next time we vote. And if that's the sort of thing it can do, you know, that's what good art should do. It should make you think, it should make you want to change things, you know. And it's great because I did a chat at the Labour Party conference. It was so good to see so many young people getting involved in politics, you know. And that's where change will come from. You young kids who've got loads of energy and power. That's what you want.
How important is it that the film was set in Newcastle? Obviously, you're from Newcastle.
Well, it is important for me. I wouldn't have got the part. so it's brilliant that it was set in Newcastle. I think Ken had written the film, and then wanted to think, where would be a good place to set it, and I think Newcastle's got it's got a good history of shipbuilding and the mining, and that has all been decimated, and working class roots, and I think he thought this would be a perfect place to set it, because Dan, the part I play, he's just an ordinary bloke. He could be your dad, he could be your uncle, he could be your grandfather. Katie could be your sister, your daughter. They're not scroungers. They're ordinary people who need help. And this is why I think people are buying into the story.
So, what kind of research do you do for a role like Daniel?
What sort of research? Well, I used to be a bricklayer, so I worked on a building site. My father my dad was a joiner. I'm working class. I've come from a working class background. I was a kid and biker. I know what working class people are about. But research, I think, because the way Ken Loach works, you don't get the script. You just get a couple of pages each day, and he works chronologically, so you live the part, if you like. I mean, the big scene that moves everybody in the food bank. The only person who knew what was going to happen there was Katie, who actually was in the main part of the scene. Everybody else, even me, I didn't know. I got the script up to there, and then so all those reactions are real, So I think the way Ken works is you live the part, But I didn't do any sort of, I went and learned some carving. I went and did a 3-day course in Baker, learned how to carve fish, and so stuff like that.
Obviously, you've got a background in comedy as well.
I've been hilarious so far, haven't I?
Well, I mean,
I've got this joke when I go on stage where I say, "Good evening, I'm Dave Johns. I've been a stand-up comic for 27 years, and nobody knows who I am. If I'd been a spy, that would have been a perfect job. I would have had a perfect job. I guess maybe after this film, I won't be able to say that,
Well, that's what, I mean, you provide a light touch to Daniel. It's very heavy subjects the film tackles. But
have you seen the film? Yeah.
Yeah, we have seen the film. Yeah, and obviously, well done, very much.
Oh, thanks very much, mate.
It's a terrific film.
Thank you.
So to bring that light touch to the character, but also deal with the heavier sort of side of the story. How do you adapt from a comedic performer to a very dramatic performer into a Ken Loach film, of all things?
Well, basically, this is my first feature film I've ever done, and I've done a lot of improv. Not this film is improv, it's a script by Paul Lafferty, but the way Ken works, he said to me on the first day of filming, he said, all you, Katie, have to do is listen to each other. If you listen to each other, you will find the truth. And if you find the truth, it will look right on screen. Because there's no music in this film, so there's nowhere for an actor to hide, There's no point as to the audience of how you should feel. So the general feeling for the audience has to come from the performances, and that's because me and Heidi listened to each other. And when she was telling me something, I'm a human being, and if I listen to her and she tells me this and I find that, upsetting, or I find that, the real emotion comes out. And I think that's the one thing I've learned about acting with Ken, is it's about channeling those real emotions, and it's about listening and playing it true, I think that's why it comes across. I mean, I've got no method, I just didn't want to. I mean, probably if you asked us, what's your method on the first day, I'd say, as long as I don't it up. So that's my method.
You've mentioned Hayley Squires, your co-performer in this film. The bond between the two is very important, obviously. And a lot of people, Ryan in particular, has mentioned that the platonic link between the two, it's not a relationship anyway that's kind of a sexual one. It's quite refreshing.
No, yeah, it is. It's a father figure. I mean, Dan sees Dan's a decent bloke. He sees her in trouble, and he says, "I'll do." He helps his neighbours, and he thought, this young lass is chucked up here on her own. She's got 2 kids. I'll just help. I'll just do her flat up for her, and they become. I feel people, but that's if there's any chemistry, but in the film, and there's any sort of it's because I'm sure she's a terrific actress, and she was in the moment all the time. If you've got somebody like Hayley who is giving you in the moment all the time truth, you can't help as another actor playing opposite her look good. You know, she made me look good because she gave the truth all the time. She's generous. She wasn't, you know, sometimes actors can be selfish and just think about their own part. But I don't think we both of us did. I think we both really, I mean, we should say to each other, right, we've got this scene coming up, right? Let's just do what Ken says. Let's just talk, listen, and play it. And those were the best scenes. I remember when I was talking about my wife in the scene when she died in the picture. I mean, that scene was, you know, I felt as though I was talking about my wife, and because Hayley was giving me lots back, it makes that scene work, you know.
And finally, you know, there's an article in the Chronicle saying you could be destined for an Oscar this year. I want to get your thoughts on that. Do you think it...
Well, you can tell what it is. This came about because there's a magazine, Variety magazine, and it's a big industry magazine in America, and the guy who saw it who reviewed it for Variety loved the film in Cannes. You know, gave it a massive, great review. Loved me and Hayley. For some reason, latched onto me, said about my powerful performance, which is lovely. And then when each year they do a countdown of the top 30, 40 actors that are in with a shout with an Oscar, and so they did this list, and somebody sent me this list, and it's got Denzel Washington, it's got Tom Hanks, and I'm number 20, and I'm between Colin Farrell and Jake Gyllenhaal, and it just makes me laugh. I mean, you know, to be even thought in a magazine like, you know, like people who read that are going to be going down that and going, oh yeah, who's this guy? Yeah, even to be thought in that company is amazing, and so I'm just enjoying it. You know what I mean? I've the Journal did a piece on it, and they put it on picture of me on the front page of the magazine with "Could this man win an Oscar?" So what I did was I got it framed and I've got it in the toilet, and so it's on the door of the toilet. So you should just see my. And I think that's where I should be sort of. I mean, you take things like that with a pinch of salt. I mean, you know, it's nice that people thought I did a good job, but it's good for the film. That's why it was great that it won the Palme d'Or, and it's won 5 awards, because that gives it extra power. So people just can't dismiss it if the right-wing press think it's just all, you know, because all those stories were researched and they're true, you know.
Well, I have to congratulate you, Dave. It's a terrific film. I hope people do go out and see it. I hope it can force some kind of social change.
Well, you know, that's when art at its best, if it can change things. And it's up to the young people to just go, look, we've had enough of this and we're not having it anymore, you know. I mean, we've got to be able to, be proud of our National Health Service, proud of our welfare. And if you're rich and you're paying into that and you never have to use it, that's fantastic. But, you know, if you've got any social conscience, you should be able to, you know, we should have a society that is about, you know, sharing.